Have you ever been curious about how to actually create demand? Now, whether you're a business owner or whether you're an employee, how do you actually make yourself something that is so unique and so unavoidable? You make yourself something that people automatically know you by. They need what you have without you really even selling it. A lot of the women that I'm speaking to right now are just so over the typical ways of doing sales. None of us want to do it anymore, present company included. I am really literally uninterested in marketing and selling. But there have been these two examples, which I'm going to share with you in today's episode, that I have come across in the last few years that I think are fucking brilliant, that could help you start to conceptualize what it means or what it looks like for you to be one of one in your field, even if your industry is saturated, and really stand out so that people are coming to you or needing what you have rather than you trying to convince or push or market to them in a way that just feels unaligned and icky. I'm really excited to dive into today's episode. I haven't really talked about tactical business stuff in a while, but I think that this transcends the tactical business conversation, and I'm just really excited to have it with you. So welcome to Big Goal Energy. I'm Bri Seeley. See you in the episode.
You were never meant for a small life. You have bold ideas, audacious dreams, and visions that keep you up at night. But the truth is, big goals don't come with step-by-step instructions, and success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming more. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, a podcast for high-achieving women who are done shrinking, striving, and second-guessing, and are ready to defy reality in pursuit of the life they actually want. I'm your hostess, Bri Seeley, goal architect, subconscious strategist, and your permission slip to want what you want. Join me as we go beyond the surface level success to explore the mindset, identity, and inner work required to bring your biggest, most delulu goals to life. This is your space to be seen, to be expanded, and to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Let's get into it.
All right, everyone. As I mentioned, it has been a hot second since I've done like a quote unquote business marketing kind of episode. And I was reflecting on it this morning as I was diffusing my hair around why I've gone like so full into the identity stuff and the becoming part, like the being part of our lives. And I was on a networking call yesterday and someone asked me, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, what I do is literally the least interesting part. And it's kind of true now, but it hasn't always been true. There have been so many years where what I did, I thought was the most interesting part of me. As it turns out, I was wrong. And who I am is way more interesting than what I do in the world. And truly, it is that who I am, that identity piece that is driving me forward to my next evolution. And there's a very good chance that you can relate to that because pretty much every single woman I'm talking to, I'm doing interviews this week for my nonprofit. We're welcoming a bunch more people onto the board, and I opened up job posting on LinkedIn and got 20 applicants. So I'm doing all these interviews this week. And two of the two interviews that I had yesterday, and we'll see how the three go today, I mean, we ended up talking so much about just the shift in our world, what's happening, how women are kind of putting our feet down and saying, we don't want to play the game the way that it's been played in the past. And I think the conversation we're about to have could lend some insights for you around how to play the game differently. The topic of today's conversation is how do you create demand without truly needing to market or push or advertise or manipulate or any of the things that kind of go along with the traditional business stuff, especially online businesses. I'll give you an example of what I mean by this because I saw a TikTok last week and this woman was like, the reason that you're not successful in your business is because you don't want it enough. You haven't gone all in yet. Da 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 da. I watched this video and I was like, wow, this person is really trying to manipulate the person watching by pulling on, first of all, their deepest fears and also their deepest desires. that's been the way that marketing has been done for a very long time. Marketing's, for the most part, honestly, still being done that way. The whole Maha movement, pushing on people's deepest desires and their darkest fears, especially as Maha markets to moms. This is the marketing playbook. You want someone to take action, you get them into a highly elevated fear state, and then you touch on their deepest desires. I actually made a clapback TikTok to this, and I was like, one, this woman's manipulating you. Like, this is literally marketing propaganda. And then I was like, maybe you do have a commitment problem. I don't know you, but also neither does she. And she is manipulating what she thinks to be your deepest fears and your darkest desires to get you to act. And I don't know about you, I think my customers are like wicked fucking smart. You listening to this, I have so much deep respect for you to say that if you know that you need help with your business, you have resources. You don't need to be manipulated into thinking that you're going to lose your business tomorrow if you don't hire me. Hello? Like, can we take off the rose-colored glasses that we've been wearing for so long and like just see the fucking manipulation? And I will admit, I have been guilty of this, definitely in the past. And there may still be elements of it. I'm like really in this deconstructing phase of what is a way for me to let people know what I have going on in my business without agenda, without manipulation, without feeling like I have to get you into a deep, 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 deep fear in order to move, act, and say yes to the solution. Let's talk about what is the other option that is available to us if it's not manipulating, if it's not getting people spun into a fear state and then offering them this silver bullet. What's the other option? When I moved to Tulsa, I lived downtown in the Arts District, and there's this great street just about a block away from where I lived. It had the tavern on it. It had this great vegan breakfast spot on it with these amazing gluten-free muffins. Their coffee's fucking fantastic. Had the co-working space on it, now has a brewery on it, and it has this bakery on it. During the pandemic, they had these nights where they would shut down that entire block. And all of those bars, restaurants, bakery would all stay open. And you could go to this street and they would put tables on the street. Oh, also, for those of you that are millennials like me, the recording studio for the Hanson brothers is also on this street. Little known fact. I have sat next to Isaac Hansen at that vegan coffee shop that I told you about. Pretty cool. Anyways, I was there one night on a date and this guy was like, oh yeah, it's pie night. And I was like, it is Saturday night. What do you mean it's pie night? This bakery on this street had designated Friday nights and Saturday nights as pie night. Now, I think they'd been doing this for years, even pre this, but it helped a lot that there was like bands outside, outdoor seating. You could grab a piece of pie from Antoinette's and then go sit outside underneath the stars and, you know, lovely. And I got to think, I was like, who the fuck, what kind of bakery markets and serves pie on Friday and Saturday nights? Like, who the fuck is going to a bakery on Friday night and Saturday night? And then it hit me. It's fucking brilliant because no one's going to a bakery on Friday night or Saturday night. That is not a place you generally think to go on those nights of the week, right? I mean, are most bakeries even open at night? A lot of the bakeries I know close at like 3. I went from thinking like, well, that's fucking stupid to holy shit. They've literally created demand by having this designated night, Friday nights and Saturday nights, because now everyone goes to the bakery on Friday night and Saturday night. Now they had all sorts of pies, lovely gluten-free pies. They had this mile-high chocolate pie where it was 2 inches of chocolate cream filling with 2 inches of whipped cream on top, gluten-free crust, all the things. Amazing, right? That is literally the most genius marketing that I think I've ever seen. We are going to take a quick break. I am going to tell you about something that I have coming up that if you would like to join us for, I would love to have you as part of. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share a secondary example with you about a place that I stumbled upon when I was driving to Prescott, Arizona in June and how they've done something very, very similar. So stay tuned, BRB. You've been doing everything right, following the strategy, putting in the hours, trying to stay positive, but somehow it's still not working. You want more, but the idea of having to do more just to get there, it's exhausting. If you're stuck in the cycle of effort without overflow, I created Claim Your Ease Era for you. It's a 6-week live experience to help you break out of survival mode, rewire your subconscious beliefs that are sabotaging your results, and finally create success from alignment, not overwork. You don't need another tactic. You need to become the version of you who lets it be easy and still receives everything she desires because she's built the foundation based on alignment. The doors are open now, but only until August 1st. Learn more and join us inside Claim Your Ease Era by visiting briseeley.com/ease. Okay, I just told you how Antoinette's basically created demand for themselves by establishing these Friday night, Saturday night pie nights, because no one goes to bakeries on Friday nights or Saturday nights, but everyone wants pie at night after dinner. You go to dinner at the tavern, 2 doors down, you hop to Antoinette's afterwards on a Friday night or Saturday night for a piece of pie when generally a bakery's just closed on a Friday night or Saturday night. And here's what's interesting. People pre-order pies on Fridays and Saturdays so they can go pick them up. They are almost always sold out. They run out of pies pretty much every single week. And they have created this massive increase in revenue for themselves through having an option that wouldn't normally be available. Now, they don't market pie night. I mean, they'll put out like a little sandwich board outside, but it's not a super high foot traffic area. So having a sandwich board is not the thing that is selling out pie night. I'm sure they talk about it on their socials, things like that, but they're not out there advertising or heavy marketing or like pushing the fact that you need to go get pie on Friday night or, your deepest, darkest fears are going to come true. I stumbled on another one of these in June when I was driving to Prescott, Arizona. When I travel, I am a total coffee snob. I do not drink black coffee. I don't drink drip coffee. I never have. I only drink espresso. And I don't do sugar for the most part either. So if you stop at any of those gas stations, they have quote unquote cappuccinos or vanilla thises or that's or whatever. But I mean, all of their push a button and dispense espresso drinks, whatevers, are just loaded with sugar. I can't eat any of them. For me to get coffee when I'm driving, unless there's a major city, which if you're driving from Tulsa to Prescott, Arizona, don't get me wrong, I stopped for espresso in Oklahoma City. Then I drove straight through to Albuquerque, got my espresso in Albuquerque the next morning. Driving to Prescott, the next major city you go through is Flagstaff, which is like an hour and a half from Prescott. It didn't make sense. So I'm trying to find espresso, not coffee, on the drive so that I can stop and get something to fuel me as I'm driving. I stumble upon this place called The Den. I set my GPS to take me there. And as I'm driving into town, there is this water tower that is leaning. I was like, oh, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it's a water tower. That's so interesting. I wonder how it got to be leaning. I wonder why it's leaning. Is it held up? Is it going to stay? What is the deal with this water tower? The Den coffee shop that I happened to go into was the exit with the leaning water tower. I go in and I order my cortado and I'm standing there talking to the girl and they have stickers at the cash wrap with the leaning tower and it says the Den. And I'm like, okay, what's the deal with the leaning tower? How did it get to be? Is it structurally sound? Like, what is the deal with it? And the girl starts laughing and she said, well, it's kind of a city joke and, was a secret for a long time that the man who built that water tower. So back up a little bit. This is on Route 66. You would drive Route 66 from Chicago all the way to the end of the Santa Monica Pier. There were lots of cities peppered along the drive. But then, of course, with the advent and the rise of large freeways, the Route 66 kind of got pushed to the wayside. If you have seen the Pixar movie Cars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't remember if it was built pre-freeways or if it was built post-freeways. But anyways, the whole purpose, he built this water tower leaning. It was built that way. And the reason he did it is because people would stop. There was maybe no other reasons to stop in Britain, Britton, not Great Britain. Britain. There was no other reason to stop in the city other than the fact that you're like, oh my gosh, there's a leaning water tower. Let's go ask about it. And people would stop and they would have lunch, or they would stop and grab coffee like I did, right? It was this thing that created and generated interest that then caused people to therefore take action as a result of that interest. Had Britain put up billboards that said, like, coffee next stop or lunch next stop, I mean, that's the same shit that everyone else is doing. If you've driven any freeways in America, like that's the billboards are what get put up. And for the most part, the billboards are like, meh, they're not really going to make me act one way or another. But this leaning water tower has been and will continue to be this source of inquiry, this source of curiosity, this source of inspiration for people to act. And of course, as I drove by too, there were tons of people at the base of it, like taking photos. I think there were some people doing the standard holding your hands in the air and holding the water tower up in the photos. I definitely have one of those photos from Pisa from 2004, I think. Pretty standard tourist shit. But also, while those people stop there, they're probably going to grab gas. They're probably going to grab lunch. They're probably going to stop for espresso. And I just thought it was such a cool example, very similarly to Pie Night, where the people are like, let us just generate curiosity and interest. Let us help create memories for people. I mean, let me tell you about all of the gas stations, rest stops. It's 15 hours to Prescott, Arizona, and 15 hours back. Not to mention, in April, I drove 10 hours to Chicago, 6 or 7 hours to St. Louis, 4 hours to Arkansas, 4 hours home. I've put 8,000 miles on my car this year. And of all the rest stops that I have stopped at since April, this is the only one I'm telling you about. This is the only one worthy of more exploration, of more discussion, of more curiosity. Think about that. Now let's put you in that spot. How can you be the Leaning Tower of Britain? Or how can you be Pie Night? And again, whether you have a business or not, if you're an employee, how do you become the thing that everyone's like, oh my gosh, do you know so-and-so? She's amazing at this. Or you have to go talk to her about this thing. Or she's going to be indispensable to the company. I talk to Jordan all the time. I'm like, how do you make yourself a pillar that is not replaceable? That if you're gone, they're fucked. And it's not from going out there and manipulating people or making them take action based on fear or based on lies or based on propaganda. How do you make yourself that thing where people are like, oh my God, it's Friday, it's Pie Night, we have to go to Antoinette's? Jordan and I are talking about going back to Prescott, and Britain will be on our list of places to go when we drive back to Prescott. I just think it's a really fascinating concept. And yes, it is technically a business concept, but I think that there's a lot of applicability to ourselves as humans as well. How do you turn yourself into that thing that is so unique and so compelling that people have no choice but to stop and take action? And I think it's a really, really good inquiry. So if this episode resonated with you at all, first off, I would love to hear your major aha from this. Please, please, please come find me on Instagram at Bri Seeley. Super easy. We also technically have the Big Goal Energy handle. You're welcome to message me there, although I don't quite check it as much. And I want to hear how you can think differently about making yourself the Leaning Tower of Britain or making yourself Pie Night, whether it's in your life, in your business. And again, like I said at the beginning, like truly making who you are way more fucking interesting than what you do. Hit me up. Tell me your insights about this. Tell me how you're going to move on this. As I say all the time, listening to this episode, not going to change your life. What you do on the other side of this episode, that's what's going to change your life. So what are you going to do? Message it to me. I want to hear about it. And then make sure to share this episode with someone who also needs to hear this today, who also needs to think about approaching either life or business, marketing in general, of themselves, of their skill set, of their businesses in a different way. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed. More incredible episodes coming out in the next few months. And if you felt compelled to join me in Claim Your Ease era, shoot me a message, bri@briseeley.com, or again on Instagram. And let's chat. I'm doing this quote unquote launch in a very different way. I'm not marketing. I'm not hard selling. I'm not any of those things. You know that it's time for you to start operating at a different cadence. Cool. Let's fucking do something about it. I don't need to manipulate you into knowing that it's time to make a change. If you know that it's time to make a change, let's fucking go. If you're still scared and aren't certain whether or not it's time to make a change, cool. You've got a little more inquiry to do with yourself before you commit. I just ask that you don't commit out of someone else manipulating you or putting you in a place of fear to make a fear-based decision, because that's never going to take you to the places you want to go. All right, y'all, big hugs. I have more interviews to go do around the Infinite Horizons board today. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and please, 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 please shoot me a message. Talk to you soon. Bye.
If this episode lit something up in you, share it. Text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or leave a review, because big goal energy is meant to be felt far and wide. And if you're ready to go deeper, explore the tools, hypnosis sessions, and support because your vision deserves more than hustle, join us on the Big Goal Energy app by visiting your app store and typing in Big Goal Energy. Your vision, your goals deserve alignment, ease, and your fullest self behind them. Until next time, trust yourself, dream bigger, and never forget, you are here for greatness.